welcome to First Chapter Friday. So, this is pre recorded, but I hope that you still enjoy the book and are able to interact with a lot that happens in the story. So, let's get started. So, the title of the book is All the Impossible Things by Lindsay Lackey. Bumblebees are impossible. They break the rules of physics. Their tiny wings should not be able to carry their fat little bodies through the air. The truth is, a bumblebee's wings work differently than people realize. For a long time, everyone thought their wings flapped up and down like a bird's. But they don't. Their wings actually flap forward and back really, really fast. So fast that a bumblebee creates a very small tornado. And that tornado picks up the bumblebee and carries it from one place to the next. Which, if you think about it, doesn't seem that impossible at all. Chapter 1. The wind came from her mother. Some moms pass along freckles, or their laugh, or their flat feet. Red's mom shared air currents and chaos. Clouds that twisted between earth and sky like a wet rag being wrung out. But Red kept the wind under her skin. She had to. The more she swallowed down her own storms, however, the angrier the sky above her became. Though the day had started clear and crisp, the sky was now dark with rain clouds that churned above the quiet Denver neighborhood. 1 minute, leaves were crunching under the feet of schoolchildren. Jack-o'-lanterns smiled from porch steps, their faces so freshly carved that their skin was not yet spongy or speckled with mold. The next minute, the air hissed and whistled, and every leaf was sucked up, 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 twirling and spinning. Carved pumpkins rolled and bounced and shattered, their pulpy flesh smeared like paint against the sidewalk. In a small living room that smelled of air freshener and dirty socks, Red stood, her thoughts as deep and dark and full of holes as the pockets on her coat. She did not look at the swollen-faced woman who constantly referred to herself as the mom. The mom said, "It's not easy being the mom to 3 boys, you know." To 3 boys, but not Red. The mom looked at Red, then at her own hands. Her fingernails were a bright slash of yellow. Red's hair tickled her cheeks like tears, but her eyes were dry. Outside, the storm swelled as Red held her breath. No, no, no. The mom glanced out the window towards the thrashing trees. Her eyes darted back to Red, then to Miss Anders, Red's social worker. It just isn't a good time to bring a foster child into the family. Red released her breath a little, then pressed her trembling lips together. The wind howled and the mom flinched. Miss Anders put a hand on Red's shoulder. "Of course," she said. Her voice was as taut and charged as an electric wire. "All set, Red?" Red nodded. All her belongings fit into an orange backpack that, thanks to the mom of 3 boys, smelled like peanut butter and dog vomit. Still, a smelly backpack was better than a plastic bag she used to carry. "We're so sorry about this." Like I said before, the mom's eyes were a little too close together, making her whole face look pinched. It's just not the mom's responsibility to protect her children. But sometimes things just aren't a good fit. A familiar ache started between Red's ribs. But then anger, sharp and slick, snaked through her, burying the hurt. Across the room, the pages of open magazine lifted, flapped, and fluttered. Red clenched her fists in her pockets. No, no, no. She couldn't let her win out, no matter how much it boiled beneath her skin. A crash of thunder split the air, and the mom yelped. Mrs. Anders pushed Her cherry black lips, her fingers tightened on Red's shoulders ever so slightly. Come on, Red. Red hiked up her backpack and stepped from the house, without looking back. Her caseworker let the screen door slam as she exited. She didn't acknowledge the gray-green clouds that had bruised the clear blue of the morning sky. Mrs. Anders yanked open the rear door of her sedan. The fabric of her skirt was a snapping flag around her knees. Red climbed into the familiar car. As always, there was a package of peach gummy candy on the seat for her. Affection for her caseworker flickered in her stomach. The mom opened the screen door and leaned out. We really did try. Red hugged her knees to her chest, tucking the candy into her coat pocket. Fat, angry raindrops left dark spots on Mrs. Anders' gray blazer as she ran around the driver's side. She shook her short, tightly curled hair, and Red could smell the powdery hair product under the sharp, cold scent of the wind. Miss Anders pulled out of the driveway and leaned forward to look up through the windshield. The wipers moved frantically against the glass. She clucked her tongue. Red pushed away a clump of hair that was stuck to her damp forehead. Her storm hat thrummed in her bones, whirled between her ribs and toes and ears, as familiar as her own breath. It wanted out, wanted to join the angry sky. She couldn't let it. This weather, Miss Anders said, someone's going to get hurt. She shook her head at the shame of it. Red wanted to say, someone's already been hurt. Instead, she said nothing. She just leaned her head against the window and watched the sky have its say. So that was the end of chapter 1. What did you notice that the author did with their word choice? Was it very descriptive? Did they use a lot of adjectives? Were there some portions that sounded like alliteration? What tools do you want to add to your writing? So those are all things to think about, and see you next week live